Hello, Terry. What day is it?
Hump Day.
Hump Day. Indeed, it is Hump Day. And I want to say hello to all of our good friends. A hat tip, even though I don't have a hat on today, to our good friends in Turkey who join us today for Delaware Park. Mm-hmm. We appreciate that. And, of course, we appreciate no matter where you're joining us from today as we take our talents to Delaware, the home of every shady LLC.
That's true. A lot of them come out of there.
Right. Yeah, indeed. Just kidding, of course, Delaware. You're a great state, minus the president. Nah. I kid. Probably going to be on Mount Rushmore when he's done.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about yesterday's show last night with George Bush. Speaking of presidents.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch that with that long conversation with Vernon Bush's brother?
It was like almost an hour or so. And you went over a lot of stuff, not just horse racing, but music and wrestling, sports. Yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. So
turns out George and I have a lot in common. You know, he wrestled. I didn't try to make the Olympics. You know, I honestly, I didn't take it as seriously as I probably should have. But George was a very good wrestler back in the day, and it looks like I may have gotten myself into a wrestling contest, Terry.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I was just kidding with him a little bit, but he was talking about if we ever get together, maybe hit the mat for charity or something, see who wins.
Oh, wow. I'd like to see that. Maybe that'll happen in Saratoga.
Yeah, you didn't see us joking around. He said I would be on my back, and I told him, yeah, bench pressing you.
No, because I had to get off. I had to do another podcast that I had to, well, not podcast, but Zoom meeting I had to do with my investment club.
So how's that going in this stock market?
Well, it's down, but we're all pretty positive because, this is a long-term thing. And the positive thing is you can buy a lot more stocks because they're a lot lower. We did this, the last one I was in it for 17 years. And there were a couple of times we did that and we turned out to be pretty good. It was actually an article that we referred to last night. And it's about 5 times this has happened in the past, the way the stocks are going now, as bad as they're doing. And all 5 times in the second half of the year, they came back. So,
well, we'll see. Hopefully they don't get any cheaper, Terry. But with that inflation news out today, I think you're going to see the Federal Reserve increase interest rates, which is going to depress the economy. I think we're just in the 3rd or 4th inning of all of this. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
I think it's going to be a tough second half of the year as well because a lot of reasons. But anyway, if you hadn't get a chance to watch that show with George Bush, not the president, but the trainer, fantastic show. Like you said, Terry, we covered a whole lot of ground, sports, music, horse racing, wrestling. So make sure you go check that out. It'll be a good time. I'm sure you'll get some laughs out of that as well. We were laughing pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
You can, of course, always make sure that you don't miss a thing here on Horse Racing Radar TV by hitting the subscribe button and the bell. If you like what you see on Facebook, if you like what you see on YouTube, please give us the thumbs up. You can follow us on our social sites. You see them scrolling on the bottom down there at Horse Race, the number 2 day. So today, Terry, on this hump day, my favorite commercial from Geico with the camel walking around in the office. I would like to have a camel walking around in my office. I think that would make for an interesting environment. We're going to try Delaware Park as we do every Wednesday. Yesterday, had a fruitful day at Colonial Downs. Just wish that 9 would have hung on at the end. It would have been the difference between hitting a $735 for a buck, pick 4, and over $2,000. So,
yep, that's right.
Also meant I didn't qualify for Friday's contest by a nose because I lost 2 races yesterday by a nose. If either one of them comes home first, I am in one of those days.
I ended up in 4th place, and they only give 3 of the qualifications in. So that was close. No cigar.
All right, race 1 at Delaware Park today is 5 furlongs. It is a maiden $40,000 race. And to look at the profile of a winner of a Delaware Park 5 furlong dirt race on a day where it's sunny, the track is fast, turf is firm. 17 races so far at 5 furlongs, 13 of which were won by horses that were either first, second, or third at the first call. No horses run from the rail, so you want to stay away from those. And then you have a discount if you wear a 2 or 3. And 4 through 7, you get a small bonus. 8+, you get a major bonus, but there are no horses going that far out. We're both going to start with Saloon, Terry, the alcohol horse.
Yeah, he's number 4, and he is a first-time starter whose has 3 winners from 4 starters, and a jockey in the last 7 days who's been in the money 5 out of 12 times, winning 3 of those. And then second choice is number 5, I Know You Love Me. He is a first-time starter also who has a good workout on June 18th at Delaware, 3 furlongs, 37 breezing, third best of 31. Then I like number 3 as my third pick, I Want to Rock. He showed early speed and faded in the stretch, but he may improve this time with Lasix added. And then number 1, Wild Hunch. He's also a first-time starter whose dam has 2 winners from 2 starters. The breeding suits today's distance, and he has a bullet workout on July 1st.
All good reasons, Terry. Well, I agree with you. Saloon is a $100,000 horse, not a cheapie. Nice 4 furlong workouts. Getting ready. Trainer Cathal Lynch won 10 of 26 so far at Delaware Park. So not a lot of horses, but when Lynch puts them out there, they win. You remember the 80s, Terry? MTV, Twisted Sister videos. They were some of the best. What do you want to do with your life? I want to rock. Remember that, Terry? No? Anyway. 4-pace had the 4-figure pace figures are better than the co-favorite, which is the 5 horse, but gets first-time Lasix here. So I think that could get the horse to the lead and then maybe take it wire to wire. Number 2, Blackwater Falls. This one doesn't have any bullet works, but the 4 furlong workout on June the 25th of 48-3, relatively speaking, is pretty quick enough. And then number 1, Wild Hunch. So I just threw the co-favorite completely out. This horse has a bullet and go. So that means the last time out, bullet workout, next thing does to the track, but also has some other good works behind it. And the only thing for me is I wish this one wasn't running from the rail. So maybe the 5 horse might be the right place to go there. But it just was uninspired by that debut. Race number 2, Terry, is 6 furlong, claiming a $20,000 race for a purse of 21 grand. And so far at 6 furlongs, they've run it 51 times, 40 of which were won by horses that are considered early speed. 22 took them wire to wire. We find a strong rail bias here. You get a little bit of a discount if you run from posts 2 or 3. Get a little bit of a bump if you run posts through 4 through 7. And again, no winners from 8+, but that doesn't come into play. We're both going to start with Back At Ya.
That's it. Back At Ya. Number 7, he won his last race at Delaware Park and was claimed by a trainer who wins 32% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. He has a trainer-jockey combination who in the last 14 days has finished in the money 13 times out of 21 starts, and they've won 8 of those starts. Then number 1 is my second pick, Law of the Land. He ran 7th in his last race at Laurel Park after having problems in the race. And the rail post is winning at 27% clip. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And the jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 12 starts. My third pick is number 4, Always Drinking. He ran 2nd in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and a trainer who wins 21% of the sprint races he has an entry in. And then I like number 3, Mesmerized. He won his last race at Delaware Park and can handle this distance.
That's what my picks do, Terry. They mesmerize you. Hey, Mike, how are things down in the Lone Star State? I was Sean and I the other day were talking about how since this HISA is taken into effect, how the handle's gone down big time at Lone Star because Texas has basically told HISA, at the Texas border, you can't cross that. So I'm kind of curious to see how all that plays out. What are you hearing on the ground down there? It'd be interesting to hear. We're going to talk to Erica today from Lone Star and get a firsthand account of what's going on there, although there's been some changes in her life in that respect. So we'll get into a little bit about that tonight, too, on Horse Center, which will be at 8 o'clock right here on our channel. Tonight's guest, along with Erica, since I brought it up, didn't mean to segue right here just yet, Terry, but tonight's guest on the Horse Center show, it is trainer, ex-jockey, and that is, I remember her name, Megan Feldowich. She'll be on tonight at 8. Apparently, she has a very interesting and inspiring story. So if you're in the mood for a story that is uplifting In these times that are a little bit tough, maybe an uplifting story might be a good thing for an evening chat for half an hour. So hopefully we don't go an hour. Make sure you tune in for that at 8 o'clock tonight on Horse Center with Sean and I. Looking forward to the conversation. Should be another very interesting one.
Yeah, it does look good. So,
All right. So for me in race number 2, Terry, we pull our picks back up and pull it on the screen. Race number 2, I like number 7, Back At Ya, just as well. This one's making its first run off the claim for trainer Jamie Ness. Jamie wins no matter where he runs horses. But this horse was better across the board last time out, meaning it showed better pace numbers in the 2 furlong mark, the 4 furlong mark, and in the late stretch. Mr. Ness does hit at about 31% off the claim, which is a slight tick up from his normal 29% winning rate. Hard to believe you can improve on 29%. One of the things that I like is since this horse has been claimed by Jamie, the horse has a bullet workout. So I think a lot of things trending in the right direction for the 7 here. Number 1, Law of the Land. Big rail edge for a horse that has the best late pace numbers in the field. I'm expecting a little bit of improvement in the 3rd race after coming out of the barn. Does have a pretty swift workout in between races. Number 4, Always Drinking, did run the top last race speed figure. This one has the possibility of having a very strong opening half-mile pace advantage. Could be a length or 2, maybe ahead of the rest. And if that's the case, resume says he could be better second off the bench. Might take him wire to wire here, Terry. Finally, number 6, Buttoned Up. Pace shapes up well for the 6, as he should be co-pilot and the lone pressure horse in the field. So if the speed falters, the 6 will be the best position to take advantage of it. Mike says about Texas down there, he says it's a bluff. Well, you mean Texas or the folks from HISA? That was race number 2, by the way. I had the race number 3 down there in the window. I apologize for that. But we're going to get to race number 3, so maybe I was foreshadowing. Race number 3, again, 6 furlongs. You want to have a fast horse. Inside works a little bit better than outside. This one's a maiden $40,000 race, Terry. You like the 1 horse on the rail.
I do, and we need to kind of hurry up because we only have 17 minutes before the first race. But anyway, I like number 1, Coppola. He is a first-time starter who was purchased for $800,000. His sire wins 16% of the time with first-time starters. The rail post is winning at a 27% clip, and he has a good workout on July the 1st. Number 3, Proud Civilian. He's finished in the money in all 3 career races, running second versus similar in the last race. Number 6, Naval Officer is my 3rd pick. He finished 3rd in the last race. As a trainer, wins 20% of the races when he brings a horse back after having the horse off 40 to 90 days. And then number 2 is my 4th pick, Boat Song. He finished 2nd versus similar in the last race and switches to a high percentage jockey.
All right. So for me in race number 3, I'll do my speed reading as well, Terry. Naval Officer has the top early pace numbers in the field, is a track dropper from Churchill Downs. First off the claim for trainer Andrew Simoff, who wins at 18% off the claim versus 13% overall. That's an alpha angle 2 ways. Coppola, your first horse, my 2nd horse. It's a first-time starter that cost a whole lot of money. $800,000. That's the kind of horse Terry buys. I'm in the $5,000 claiming ranks. This one does have some strong works and gets, as I mentioned, the high rate win rail. Number 3, Proud Civilian so far has improved in each of his 3 races, raising his speed figure race after race. And if you look on the past performances, you see that he's holding his speed longer and longer and longer. Maybe this is the race that he can take it to the end. Boat Song scratched into the spot for me, but does have a pretty solid trainer in McLean Robertson, who wins at 17%. Horse did show some improvement last time out. These horses from Illinois have to go somewhere. Hawthorne horse finding its way out to Delaware Park. We'll see if the workouts, which are okay at Delaware Park, can translate into a horse that can win. Race number 4, Terry, is a – hold on a second. I got to go to the right page here. Race number 4 is a 5.5 furlong race. Optional claiming $25,000, Terry. And the profile of a winner for a 5.5 furlong race at Delaware Park. 30 races, 23 won by speed, 10 taking him from gate to winner circle. There's a little bit of a rail penalty. Nice bonus if you wear a 2 or 3. 4 through 7, a little bit of a downgrade. No winners from 8+. So it looks like 2 or 3 of their best numbers. Your long shot of the day happens to be a 3.
That's right. Number 3, Bashi. She has finished in the money in the last 4 races, winning 2 of those starts. Drops in class today and has a trainer jockey combination who I've said in the past has won 8 out of 21. Number 1, Shiro, has finished in the money in 8 of the last 9 races, winning 4 of those starts, and drops in class today is my second pick. Third pick is number 2, Midtown Rose. She ran second versus similar her last race, has the highest last race speed rating. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and the jockey in the last 7 days been in the money 5 out of 12 times. And then number 4 is my fourth pick, Vic's Cool Cat, switches to a high percentage winning jockey and drops in class today.
Midtown Rose, my top choice in race number 4, should be close to the front. But when you look at the early pace numbers, all of these horses seem to have speed. So then you got to focus on the horse that has the best late pace numbers. That is number 2, Midtown Rose. What I also like is when you have these horses where there's a lot of horses with speed, you got to pay attention to the start. This one has a bunch of 1s down that start. So not only does it have a lot of early pace, but has that pop right when the gates open. Number 1, Shiro, has the most back speed, especially at 4 furlong marker. This is the shortest race that this horse has done in a while. If she runs back to those 4 furlong numbers, this one will be a case where nobody can catch her. Number 4, Vic's Cool Cat, has the top late pace numbers in the field. Won't be too far off the pace. Has a chance to get the lead just like all of the rest of these horses. And then finally, Bocce has run at the distance, I think 7 times, finished in the money in 6 of them with 2s across the board, 2 wins, 2 places, 2 shows. So it's the right distance for him. I do think this is going to be a very competitive race, Terry, where any one of those horses can probably win. Because I mentioned all of them look almost the same on paper, no matter which way you break up the numbers. So that's why I focused on the speed of the speed with a little bit of late kick. This race also brings us to the end of the opening pick 4, Terry, which is our hot dog pick 4. Why do we always do the hot dog pick 4 in the first 4 races anyway? I'm curious about that.
I think it's because, to me, the last 4 races are usually more competitive. I think you can get bigger long shots in the last 4. So
I always follow your lead, so I let you dictate. I let you pick your best bet first, your long shot first, your box it up first, and the pick 4. So here we go. All right. You like 4 horses in the first race. I'm a little concerned about this, Terry, because that 4 horse early line right now looks like he's about, what, 2 to 5?
Yeah, he does. And I'll tell you, the reason I did that is because these are a lot of first-time starters. And even though I think the 4 horses are going to win, I've got so many times I've seen where some horse that you don't expect to get in there gets in there. So I guess what my problem is if that 2 wins.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking you only spent $16. You want to put the 2 in there just to be safe?
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah.
Yeah, because you still have $4. I was kind of surprised when I saw you do that. I'm like, well, Terry, what are you doing? You're not Terrying your Terry pick.
So you didn't tease me. That's why. No, you can put the 2 in there. So.
All right. So add the 2 to Terry on the first leg. So he's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's hoping for the biggest shot to come in. You know what happens, Terry? The 2's going to win here. It's going to blow up my ticket. It's going to make yours a winner, and you won't even say thank you.
I will. Yeah, I'll thank you all the way.
So another place today there you might want to thank us is as we mentioned, we did a lot of work to find a sports book that someone who talks sports. We found a professor of statistics who has a fantastic track record. So far with us, he's only won 1 so far, but he's only had 1 bet. That was Tampa Bay, because the Mariners got rained out last night. So today he's back at it. He's in my town today, in Chicago. He's looking at the Cubs versus the Orioles. Picks with the professor side, says that game there's no way they're going to score 8 runs. So take the under at -106. He mentions the weather here. It's going to be a little bit cooler than normal today, and the wind's going to be blowing in. And I can tell you, when the wind blows in that Wrigley Field, they do struggle to score runs. So I think I kind of like what the professor is doing here today. There is a link in our description, both on Facebook and on YouTube, where you can click over to the professor's show on YouTube, check out all of his picks for the day. The statistics professor knows what he's doing, so make sure you check that out and let him know that you came from horse racing today in the comment section. We would appreciate that. Back to racing, Terry.
That's right.
Race number 5 at the Delaware Park track. Race number 5, Terry, is I got to click over to it real quickly. It is a 1 mile race on the turf. As I mentioned, the turf is firm. This field, I think, is the deepest field in terms of number of horses today. Looking at 1 mile on the turf, they've run it 28 times. Interestingly, 19 of those 28 were won by speed, but 12 of the 19 that were speed horses went wire to wire. There is a strong inside 3 bias here. And then it's inside out from 4 out. So the farther you get from the rail, the more difficult it is to win. I did this race as my box it up simply because there's a lot of other shorter fields here, Terry, where you may get short prices and not necessarily a nice box it up payout if you hit. 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent try, 10-cent superfecta box. I'm going to start with Courageous. This one comes in from Belmont Park. Makes the third start off a layoff, was better in its last race according to its fractions and so forth, because it ran 7 furlong fractions as fast as 6 furlong fractions. Those 7 furlong numbers were on turf, whereas the 6 were on the slop. Number 9, Mikado, should be near the front. This one's run on the Delaware turf course 3 times, 2 wins and a second. And that second was by just a half a length and was only a head out in the stretch. Number 7, Riveting Spirit. This one drops in from Gulfstream Park. Her speed numbers are among the best, and I think you're likely to see those numbers rise here at Delaware Park. And finally, no sniveling, folks. That's not the way we do it. Grown men and women who are horse players don't cry and or snivel. But this is the lone E-horse in the field, meaning it's going to get to the lead in all likelihood. Just went wire to wire at Delaware Park, and if she can get to the lead on easy fractions again today, look out. Lone Speed is probably everybody's favorite angle, Terry. How about you? What's your favorite angle today for race number 5?
Well, I like number 9, Makato. She has got the highest last speed figure at today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the time when he brings a horse in and races it a second time off of a layoff. She has a jockey in the last 7 days, won 3 out of 12. I like number 6 as my second pick. Our Tenderoni. She won the last 2 races in a row. She has tried turf racing twice. She didn't have any success, but she had trouble in both those races. And she has the highest last speed rating, and a trainer wins 22% of the races when shipping a horse in to run in a race. Then I like number 7, Riveting Spirit. She likes the turf, finishing in the money in 2 out of 4 starts, winning one of those races, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 2, No Sniveling. And I hope she doesn't snivel today. She won her last race on the turf at Delaware Park and has won 22% of her starts on the turf.
All right. Let's move on to race number 6, Terry. Race 6 is your box it up. It's also a 6 furlong optional claiming $32,000 race. As we mentioned before, you got to be fast at 6 furlongs. Probably prefer to be on the inside than the outside. Terry, walk us through your reasoning behind putting these 4 horses together in your box it up.
All right. Well, I like number 2, Spicy Margarita. She has finished in the money in 4 out of 5 career races, winning one of those starts, has the highest last speed rating, and she has a trainer who wins 29% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back to race again. Then number 1 is my second pick, Leia's Legacy. She's finished in the money in both of her career races, winning one of the starts. The rail post is winning at a 27% clip. Trainer wins 22% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back. And her jockey in the last 7 days, as I said several times, has really been doing well. 5 in the money, 3 wins. And then I like number 6 is my third pick, Esperana. She comes in from Laurel Park after winning her debut race easily to try Delaware Park today, and has a bullet workout on July 2nd. Then I like number 5 as my fourth pick, Romantic Comedy. She has finished in the money in her last 4 races, winning one of the starts at Delaware Park, and has a trainer jockey combination, as I've said over and over, who's been in the money 13 out of 21 times, winning 8, 3 seconds, and 2/3.
All right, Terry. So that looks good for a nice box it up there at Delaware Park. For me, I'm going to put this horse in as my best bet in this race, Terry. That's the 1 horse. The 1 horse is named, hold on a second, it is Leia's Legacy is the best bet for me today. This one might have the biggest early pace advantage on the entire card today at a distance and surface that favors speed. And then you team that up with the big advantage for the rail. So I think Leia's Legacy might get to the front and just go bye-bye. Number 5, Romantic Comedy, coming off the maiden win. Not the biggest fan of that maiden win and then stepping up from there, but it was maiden special weight, and it was better across all numbers last time out. So all the internals improved. Looking for some more improvement here. The favorite, Spacey Margarita, did run the top last race speed figure. As such, was beaten nonetheless as the favorite, trainer Claudia. Gonzalez does rebound at 30% the next time around the track with the failed favorite. The horse didn't do so well last time out when it was in its third race of a 3-race cycle, which is where it finds itself today. And then number 6, Esperana, has the top late pace numbers, winning her debut at Laurel Park with ease as the 90-cent favorite. Has a bullet workout since that easy win, and that workout was the fastest of 55 at 4 furlongs. What's interesting about this next race, Terry, race number 7, I don't know that this has happened before. This is my long shot versus your best bet, but they're both the same horse. How about that?
Yeah, that is something else. Yeah, I really don't think the 4 is going to be 6-1. Tell you the truth, but
well, I hope it's 10-1.
Yeah,
this one is a mile and an eighth on the turf. It's an allowance 16,000. They only ran one of them so far. It was one wire to wire from post 4 through 7. So. Do you think the 4 can go wire to wire?
Well, you might be able to, but 4 became my best bet when they scratched a horse in that 8th race. So that's how that happened. But anyway, I like the 4 in this race, Unconquered Spirit, because he's finished in the money in all 7 his starts on the turf, and he's won 3 of those and ran second in his last race. Number 3 is my second pick, Outrageous Bet. He is 1 for 1 on the turf at Delaware Park and finishes 3rd in his last race. And then 1A, So Far, is Shufar. He's my 3rd pick. He won his last 3 races in a row, and he can either lead the race to the finish or come from off the pace to win, and likes the turf. And, of course, I like that angle. And then number 10 is my 4th pick, In It for Love. He has finished in the money in 9 out of 16 starts on the turf, winning 5 of those races, drops in class today. And, my pick of the day yesterday, again,
Hold on, Terry. We'll get there.
Okay.
All right. So number 4, Unconquered Spirit, never off the board, as you mentioned, at turf or at Delaware Park. So 100% in the money at the turf and at Delaware Park. You got to like that. Should have no problem with the distance either. Mile and an eighth, which could be interesting for some of the other horses in this race, as he finished second by a head at a mile and a half, where he was close to the pace all the way around the track, which is what I expect to maybe see again here today. Outrageous Bet, much better fractions last out. 30 consecutive speed figure increases in that effort. Has some of the most late punch out of this group, and I think should be mid-pack, poised to strike with those late legs. Shofar, winner of 3 in a row, better pace numbers in his first half mile last out. And as time forms, U.S. Craig Mikowski told us, that's usually an indication of a horse that's on the upswing. Jamie Ness and Jaime Rodriguez, J&J, put those 2 together, and they hit at 29%, though that number's coming down a little bit, so they've cooled off a touch. And then finally, it was a tough call here for me in this 4th spot for either number 8 or number 12. I went with number 8, Morocco, because there's a ton of horses up front. Some of them are going to fail off. If they can't get the lead, they'll get discouraged. So I expect the closer to come in here. Morocco is a horse with some of the best late pace figures in the field. In fact, he has a top late pace number. So I think he'll be picking off those tiring horses down the stretch. To round out my 4 picks there. And as you were going to get to, Terry, it is also a best bet today. And yesterday I jokingly said, just scratch off Terry's top pick, go straight with the second pick. And was I
correct?
Was I correct? Yes.
Yes, you were, because my first pick ran 4th, Jeeper, and my second pick won the race and paid a nice 780, 380, and 280. And it's really odd this month, because so far my second pick has won 60% of the races, and my first pick's only won 20%. Second pick's been in the money 90% of the time, and my third pick's been in the money 87% of the time. So It's kind of odd. But today, my best bet of the day is PARX Racing Race 8. I like number 4, Golden Tabby. She has won 2 of her last 3 races, winning the last race at PARX Racing, and she can either lead the race or come close from off the pace to win, which is an angle, as said over and over, that I really like. It means the horse is versatile. And then number 5, Summary Judgment. She has won 2 races in a row and now is going for a hat trick, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then number 7, Esperida. She has finished in the money in 6 races out of 7 career starts, finishing 3rd in her last race. And she likes Park Racing, winning 3 races out of 6 starts there.
So that's Terry's best bet for today. I got a feeling that your 2 horse is not going to be the winner today, Terry. So maybe focus on the 1 and the 3, your first pick and your 3rd pick. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of racing, the first race at Delaware Park, they're loading up right now. So let's just take a look at this race, see how it plays out.
Okay.
Bring up real quickly, if you haven't done it yet, this is our hot dog pick 4s to get started for the first race. They look like this. Terry, he added the 2 here just in case to be safe. I gave him that allowance. He's got $20,000 in there. So Terry likes the 1, 2, 3. He went all in that first leg. I just went with the 4 and the 3. Let's pull up our total picks for race number 1 right here. So the whole card, both with the 1. I have actually the 2 in my picks.
You do, yeah.
So I didn't need to do that, but I don't have the 5. So it's probably the 5 is probably going to be your winner here. But let's see. Right now, the odds look like this. The 1 horse is 3-1. The 2 horse is 11-1. The 3 horse is 13-1, which is the horse I hope wins because it's the longest shot on my pick 4 ticket. The 4 horse is 2-5. So it really looks like the people on the ground are back in that horse Saloon, the first time starter. And then the 5 horses odds, he's an overlay, went from 2-1 to 5-1 right now.
Well,
looks like they're kind of get 1 horse's tail in there. I guess they're off.
Okay.
Well, the 2 horse got a pretty rough break, so he's probably not going to be the one that wins, Terry.
All right.
And then as it stands right now, you have the 4. It looks to me, and I hate these things. So it looks like the 4 and the 1 are on the lead right now. So you got the 4. He's running away from the 1 as they head into the turn. The 1 is fading pretty badly.
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 is on the rail, getting a little bit of a better trip, it looks to me like, than the 5 horse. Right now, the 4 is in command of the race. Opening quarter in 22 seconds. Nobody else is coming up on this horse.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's walking on the jockey's already kind of standing up on the horse there a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm. He's not even asking him to run. He's just running away from the pack. All right, so the 4 horse is the winner in the first leg and of course, Terry, you knew that was going to happen. Why did you know that was going to happen?
Because I went all. And so you always get the hardest favor when you go all.
Yeah, I was really contemplating putting that 4 solo up there, but you know what? You got to hope that you beat a 2-5 in the morning.
Yeah, right? I was also thinking the same thing. Either single it or go all. That's how I do it, especially with horses that haven't been out for a while. Never been out, because you don't really know what's going to happen sometimes. And before the race started, I don't know if you saw, but that 1 horse, the 2 horse, either the 2 or the 1, reared in the gate and the jockey went off the back. So they had a lot of trouble with it. So,
all right. So the 4 wins easy in that first race. Hopefully we have an easy winner in race number 8, Terry, to close out the late pick 4. That is 1 mile, claiming 8,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime. 1 mile on the Delaware main track. They've done it 32 times, 19 times. We see a form reversal here because the track goes from a speed track once you on the sprints to a closer's track. So in 32 races, 19 won from off the pace, 4 of which went wire to wire. There's only been 1 win from the rail so far on 32 races. So the rail horse, stay far away unless it's a completely superior horse. There's a small penalty from posts 2 and 3, but not too bad. And then 4 through 7 are the best, and you do get a fair shake at 8 and out. We both start with Master of War, Terry.
That's right. Master of War, he finished 2nd in his last race, and he has the highest last speed rating. And then I'm taking that 1 that never wins, the 1 post, Baby Bull. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, tied with another horse. And he should improve while returning to dirt. Number 7 is my third pick, Social Equality. He finished 5th in his last race after coming into the stretch very, very wide. Switches to a high percentage winning jockey. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's tied with Baby Bull. And the jockey in the last 7 days has a record of 3 wins out of 12 starts. And I like number 3 as my fourth pick, David Prospect. He drops in class today. The winner wins 50% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and this horse can improve returning to a route.
I like Master of War too. Terry did run the top last race, speed figure last time out, and has a decided late pace advantage, especially with the 5 scratching. Again, we mentioned that the horses with late pace tend to have their way at a 1 mile race at Delaware Park. Number 3, David's Prospect. They forgot the T somewhere. This one should be at or near peak form in the third start off of the bench. Was better last time out in the first half mile. Again, that's an indicator of a horse that's possibly improving. Number 6, 4 on 7. I guess it's a 4 like in golf, like 4 to get out of my way. That's what I'm yelling constantly when I'm on the golf course. If any is going to go wire to wire, Terry, it's going to be the 6 horse. This one has a weight break as well. And last time out, got off to a pretty good start and faded pretty badly. So maybe that weight break and the third race, round 3 after a layoff, is the answer. And then I'm closing out with Social Equity. It was a tough call over the 1 for me. But as I mentioned, the 1 has only won once out of 32 races. So made it an easy call for me because the 7 has a better win rate than the can't win rate 1. So let's see if we'll go with the lucky number 7 to close out the picks for today at Delaware Park. It also brings up our prime rib pick for Terry, which is where we get a little bit better budget. Here you go, Terry. You're going to try to go with the 2 and the 1. So basically, you're basically singling the 2 in that last leg based upon the performance of the rail so far.
That's right, I am. But you never know. That one might just surprise us.
He could. I am not so sure, Terry. I stay away from those big anti-biases like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go just with the traditional 4-4-4-3. Hope to catch the prime rib for would it be the 3rd day in the row for me if I catch the prime rib, right?
Yeah, it would be because you did really well last 2 days. You're on fire, matter of fact. And I think some of your best bets have won and also long shots. So.
Well, it's the broken clock theory. It's right twice a day, Terry, right?
That's right. Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you, in this race here, I was very disappointed because my top pick, the 5, was scratched. I was going to single the 5. And but they scratched that horse for some reason.
All right. Well,
that would have been my best bet of the day.
We know what's going to happen. The 1's going to win because I down talked it. And I'm wearing the 1 today too, Terry. It's one of those things that's forbearing. And if you want to look great and wearing the number 1, maybe Terry looks probably better than I do in the 1 horse stuff. But head on over to Horse Racing Today. Please click on the HRT gear link. Get yourself a number 1 hat, a number 1 shirt, or anything else that you see there you like. Today is the last day. Not only that, but you're going to get 15% off. So not only are we giving you winning picks, we're paying for your opportunity to go support the show. Head on over there, pick yourself up a hat or a shirt, support the show, look great, Terry, and get 15% off. And everybody can use 15% off these days of high inflation. And finally, if you're going to bet later on today at Canterbury Park, head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You'll see that Canterbury Park is the free track of the day. Just click on it. Yesterday, we talked about Thistle Downs. The first race, the 5 horse, was one of the best bets. It won easy, right, Terry?
It did, absolutely.
And today at Canterbury Park, race 1, 6:10 p.m. Eastern, number 6, Red Wave, is a best bet of the day. I don't know why the first race is always the best bet of the day, but it looks like it. Don't forget, again, if you're going to do baseball today, you might think about playing the under with the Cubs and the Orioles because our picks with the professor, he says that it's his top play of the day, and he bases a lot of it around weather here, and he's absolutely correct. When the wind's blowing in and it's cold, they don't get a lot of hits at Wrigley Field. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we check out of here on my favorite day of the week, Hump Day?
Hump Day. Yeah, well, I hope everybody has a great hump day and going down the other side of the hill. And, give your loved ones lots of love. And don't take any wooden nickels.
Don't take any wooden nickels. Where'd that come from?
That's an old saying from way back when. I used to say that to my kids all the time. So,
And what's the meaning behind don't take any wooden nickels? They're fake?
Yeah, they're fake. Yeah.
I get it. Okay. No fake nickels here, folks. Tonight, again, join Sean and I at Horse Center at 8 o'clock. Another great show on tap for sure. While you're here, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Horse Race Today. If you like what you saw, please like Lionel T.M. Hook and Mike Watkins. Thumbs up on Facebook, thumbs up on YouTube. The better our ratios go, the higher we go in their algorithms. So we appreciate your help in that. As always, we want you to think like a winner, because when you think like a winner, you become a winner. And everything that you do, whether it's work, personal life, or at the track, Terry, it should end up in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Wednesday. We'll see you tonight. Oh, by the way, Terry and I are back tomorrow for opening day at Saratoga. You don't want to miss that.